सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदिभ्या निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनः उरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावत् भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानाम् अग्रे पश्यामि तेजो निबिडतरकला यावली लोभनीयं पीयूषाप्लावितोऽहं तदुतरे दिव्यकैशोरवेशं तारुण्यारम्भरम्यं परमसुखरसास्वाद रोमाञ्चिताङ्गैः आवीतं नारदाद्यैः विलसदुपनिषत् सुन्दरी मण्डलैश्च
Gurupavanapure Hantabhagyam Janana. Namaskaram to all the Astikas. We have been enjoying, probably relishing, one avataram after the other. Here comes an avataram which is very close to this home state of the author Kerala, which is of Nārāyaṇa Bhaṭṭatiri, which is Vamana avataram. Vamana avataram is generally coupled with Trivikrama avataram. We have seen how Aditi, upon the advice of Kashyapa Prajapati, performed Payovratam, as a result of which Bhagavan, observing her austerities, appeared and said that I shall be born to you very soon, but do not reveal this to anyone. So with this in her mind, she was carrying the thoughts, the Rupa and Swarupa Vaibhavam of Bhagavan in her mind, and eventually had to deliver Bhagavan. That is where comes the Shlokam. Tvam Kashyape tapasi sannidhattadanim praptosi garbhamaditehe pranuto vidhatra prasuta cha prakata vaishnava divyarupam sadvadashi shravana punyadine bhavantam tadanim tvam sannidadhat. So Bhagavan manifested himself. How? Tapasi Kasyape. Through that tapas which was performed by Kashyapa in the form of a retas, in the form of a bijam. Tapasi Kashyape praptaha asi garbham aditehe, and having attained or gone into the womb of Aditi, pranutaha vidhatra, thereby you are being praised by Brahma. So, like how Devaki will be worshipped and praised in Krishna Avataram for having carried their Lord, so is the case here where Bhagavan will be carried by Aditi. Thereby Brahma praised, Pranutaha Vidhatra. Finally, Sa cha prasuta bhavantam, she delivered you in this avataram. Prakata Vaishnava Divyarupam, you showcased yourself as Vishnu. So you carried the Chaturbhujam, Shankham, Gada and all of that. When Dvadashi Shravana Punya Dine, so in the month of Bhadrapada, in the Shukla Paksha, in the waxing phase, of the month of Bhadrapada, on the day which is the 12th Tithi, which is Dvadashi, and where the asterism, the nakshatram is Shravana. So Shravana nakshatram, Dvadashi Tithi, Shukla Paksham, Bhadrapada Masam. So these are the 4 coordinates that come to us. Dvadashi Shravana Punyadine Bhavantam. That is the day when you appeared to your mother Aditi. Remember, this particular day, Bhadrapada Masam, the month, Shukla Paksham, the fortnight, which is the waxing fortnight, Then we have Dvadashi, which is the Tithi. And finally, the asterism, Shravanam. That day is a very important day known as Vamana Jayanti because he was born. Now, the word Shravana means Shrona Nakshatra. That is the nakshatra, asterism. Shravanam in Sanskritam means listening, as well as it is the name of the star. In the Tamil language, Shravanam is called as Thiru'Onam. The name of the star in the Tamil language is Thiru'Onam. Thiru means Mahalakshmi, Shri, anything which is Samriddhi, prosperous. Thiru is added. Tiruchirappalli, Thiruvananthapuram. So we use Thiruvallur. So we use Thiru. Thiru means Mahalakshmi's grace is there. So Thiru'Onam. So the nakshatra is Onam. Now this day when Vamana was born was on the day of the nakshatra called Thiru'Onam. Hence the festival is called Onam. Now I know it's a bit of a detour. In the last 40-50 years, we have observed that Onam as a festival is called a secular festival. It is said that anybody can celebrate, everybody can celebrate. I have no problems with it. Anybody can celebrate. It's a nice festival. It's a festival where you bring your relatives home, your friends home. So anybody can celebrate. Just because anybody can celebrate, and probably everybody celebrates, you cannot take away the Hindu-ness from this festival. This festival remains a Hindu festival, which others also duly appreciate and celebrate. That is what you can say. You cannot make the festival itself secular. It is the day when Thirukkarkara in the Kshetra, Vamana Murti is appreciated, he is celebrated, he is worshipped, and there is a beautiful kolam drawn to welcome Bhagavan. And I am not sure if this Pookolam, that Rangoli with flowers, is drawn to welcome Bali Chakravarti. The day when Vamana was born is when his Thiru'Onam celebrated. So it is the day where you welcome Vamana. So Dvadashi Shravana Punya Dine Bhavantam is what this particular shloka says. Punya Shramam Tam Abhivarshati Pushpa Varshaihi Harshakule Suragane Krita Turya Ghoshe Badhvanjalim Jaya Jayeti Nutah Pitribhyam Tvam Takshane Patutamam Vaturupamadhaha Suragane Krita Turya Ghoshe. When the Devas sounded beautiful instruments, even in Krishna Avataram, Krishna's father himself, his birth was celebrated with Anaka and Dundubi. Here Bhagavan's birth is celebrated with musical instruments. Harsha Kule Abhivarshati. They were all extremely delighted. Abhivarshati, they started showering. Pushpa Varshaihi Tam Punyashramam. On that very place, that very sacred ashramam, where Bhagavan chose to be born, Pushpa Varshaihi, rains of flowers were showered. Tvam Nutaha Pitrubhyam iti. You were thus praised by your parents. Thus, Jaya Jaya Badhva Anjalim. Victory to you. With folded hands, they put their hands together. Tat Kshane Adhaha. Immediately assumed. You assumed that role. Vaturupam Patutamam. In the form of a Brahmacharin. What was that form? Brahmacharin. There. Patutamam. Vaturupam Patutamam. To achieve various things, you became a Vatu, a little Brahmachari. So this Vaturupa Vesham, a small Brahmachari. Now what was this Bhagavan who was born? He was Sakshat Narayana. What is he to be called? See, the beauty is, we know him as Vamana. But that was not his original name. The original name was Upendra. Since he was born as the younger brother to Indra, he is called Upendra. So this is what Sahasranamam says. Upendro Vamana Pramshuhu Amoga Shushirurjitaha. So Upendra. But how did he become Vamana? You know, in many of our Indian families, the nickname will always be more popular than the original name. How was he called Vamana? Vamana means the dwarf, the one, medically these days doctors say the pituitary gland has not functioned well, has malfunctioned. That is why there is no adequate growth in that person. So there is an inadequate growth. He was a dwarf, so he is called the Vamana. I'm sure your children and grandchildren would have studied Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. So dwarf means very short. Was that the name given? See, no mother will call her son dwarf. Why will she give the name Vamana to him? It was a name acquired by the boy because of his height. That is one point. And second point, when commentators describe the boy's real growth, they say he was not short or did not seem short to the tall people. Maybe people who have grown well. For them, he did not seem short. Even for the dwarfs in the world, he seemed short. So he was dwarfer than most of the dwarfs. So this is what the commentators say. So he was so short, vaturupam patutamam. Now you may wonder, he could have taken a normal body size. Why did he take a short form? Because he's going to exhibit to the world that he is the same one who's going to become Trivikrama, who has measured the worlds. So on one end, he becomes the largest of the large. He is the shortest of the short. So he is both. So to prove this dichotomy which generally doesn't exist in one place, in him is why this avatara comes. Vaturupam patutamam. Tavat prajapati mukhairupaniya maunji dandajinaksha valayadibhirarchamanaha. Dedipyamana vapurisha kritagnikaryaha tvam prasthita baligriham prakrita ashwamedham. He was performing ashwamedham, who Bali Chakravarti. To that Vatika who walked. Now for this little boy, Upanayanam has to be performed. The thread ceremony, the sacred thread, Janeyu, जिसको उत्तर भारत में बोलते हैं. In Tamil, Tamilargal adai Poonal என்று தெரிவிப்பார்கள். Maunji, Upanayana anta ಹೇಳುತ್ತೀವಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. So whichever language you take, this Upanayanam is a samskaram which has to be done for the boy at the right time. So He Isha, He Bhagavan, Tavat, later, Tvam Upaniya, the sacred thread was administered to you by, when it was hid, who all attended that? Prajapati Mukhaihi. See, Kashyapa Prajapati called no normal people, he called Sakshat Brahma. Archyamanaha Maunji Danda Ajina Aksha Valayadivihi. So he lists down what all this boy received in that Upanayanam as gifts. So he says Maunji, Danda, Ajina, Aksha. So Akshamala was given by Saraswati. All this is there in Bhagavatam. Akshamala was given by Saraswati. Then we had Dhyauhu. Then we had Prithvi. Bhumi Devi gave deer skin. And then we have Dhyauhu. Then we have Soma who gave one Dandam. So all this is listed in Bhagavatam. Maunji, Danda, Ajina, Aksha, Valayadivihi. Dedipyamana vapuhu. He was endowed in an effulgent form. Now, were there other things that were given? See, in this Upanayana Samskara, one thing which is very important is, what is the role of the father? What is the role of the mother? The father does the Brahmopadesham. The moment the Janeyu is put, the father introduces the boy to his other mother. Sir, this doesn't seem right. He addresses the other mother as Gayatri Devi. Gayatri Chandasam Mata. That Gayatri Devi, who's Surya Gayatri, for that mantra, Tat Savitur Varenyam, how it begins, this mantra is taught by the father to the son. So the father is the one who does the mantropadesham to the son. One. Second, coming to the mother. Now the mother has to give the first bhiksha to the son. So that is when the boy has to seek alms using that particular bhiksha patram. That bhiksha patram is very important because that bhiksha patram here was gifted by Kubera. And who is to be giving the first bhiksha? Rightfully the mother Aditi. But Aditi was so magnanimous, she called Uma, Parvati, and said, you give the first bhiksha. So the first bhiksha was given, Prajapati had attended, all these gifts has come. Dedipyamana vapuhu. After the thread ceremony, Upanayanam, Vamana was so effulgent. Krita agnikaryaha. Then after having completed whatever were the fire rites with respect to this Upanayanam, prasthitaha baligriham. You started towards the house of Bali. From where? From where did he start? Where did he reach? This is where you need to understand. Śrīman Nārāyaṇīyam Balakandam clearly says Vamana was born in Siddhashramam, which is currently in the Bihar region. And where did he go towards Bali? In the Bharuch region, which is called Bhrigu Kacham earlier, which is in the northern banks of river Narmada, which is Gujarat. So from Bihar to Gujarat. Then why did you say Kerala? Kerala is where the rishis wanted to see it reenacted. So in the yogic vision, Bhagavan appeared. So prasthitaha baligriham. Why he went to Baligriham? In Bali's house, Prakrita Ashwamedham. Bali Chakravarti was performing the Ashwamedha Mahayagna. And generally when such great kings perform yajna, towards the end they will do dana dharma. and Bhagavan wanted to partake it for a certain reason. For that reason, he went to the Yajnavatika of Bali Chakravarti, who was performing Ashwamedham, Prakrita Ashwamedham. So he left to Bali's house, Bali Griham Prasthitaha. After having completed Krita Agni Karyaha, whatever had to be done with the help of his father. Now, what was done to him? Upanayana. Who was present? Even Brahma and others were present as witness. What all he received various gifts. Now, slowly, Vamana takes his stroll to Bali's Yajnavatika. On going to his house, what all were his thoughts? And how was he welcomed in Bali Griham? And later, how he all grew up. All that in the next episode.
कल्याणरूपाय कलौ जनानां कल्याणदात्रे करुणासुधाब्दे कंवादिदिव्यायुधसत्कराय वातालयाधीश नमो नमस्ते नारायण 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 नारायण